All right, let's bring it back to Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. It's overpriced. It's a terrible port. Why is this happening? Love it like a hater, man.
Oh, first off, we don't even know all the stuff with it. So you can't. I honestly feel like this is going to be like a Super Mario 3D World where there's going to be additional content in it because they hardly talked about the game itself. All they really said was it's coming out in July. It's going to have modernized controls and HD graphics. I hated the controls on the Wii version. This is why I never finished it. So I'm looking forward to playing it with a more traditional control scheme. Now, I do think people have a point that if this game is $60 and those are the only two things done to it, then yeah, it is a bit overpriced. To you, possibly. I think there's going to be additional content in it. I really do.
I don't think so. Even when Mario 3D World was unveiled, they teased Bowser's Fury, and they're just like, we're going to talk about this later. If there was new stuff that is worthwhile.
But they have so much time. There's so much runway up to it.
Look, I think when you look at Nintendo's track record, there's not going to be anything.
I'm looking at their track record, and the last game they released was 3D World, which had Bowser's Fury on it.
Right, and since the very beginning that they announced it, they said there was new content.
Because maybe that's a game that they felt needed to have that announcement. Maybe they didn't think Skyward Sword.
I will change my tune right now as someone who has played the game. I have zero interest in paying $60 for what they've shown. Now, that might not be true for most people, but for me, it's pricey. And I said the same thing about 3D World, and then Bowser's Fury turned out to be fantastic. And now I'm all like, oh, this is a great price. Pay it. It's good. It's worth it.
I mean, it's subjective.
I am happy, though, that they replaced motion controls with an optional button scheme. I thought that was great. And I don't like Joy-Cons, so the Joy-Cons look ugly, in my opinion, so I don't care for those.
I kind of like the Joy-Cons.
Yeah, same.
Ugh. Meh.
I mean, it's currently the number one selling video game on Amazon right now, with number 2 being Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury.
Yeah, but what other games would people be buying right now, really?
Animal Crossing is at number 18.
Like, are there...
Well, actually, it's number 4. So, just looking at games only, the only things that are selling better than games are cards, like PSN cards and shit like that.
Huh. But PlayStation and Xbox don't have any... Do they have anything major coming? Like, they didn't announce anything major recently that would lead people to buy things on Amazon. So...
I mean, the highest PlayStation game is Persona 5 Strikers. Which Hades Physical Edition is actually beating. And I'm going to go ahead and purchase that.
I think Persona 5 Strikers is a very niche game. It's only going to appeal to anyone who's played Persona 5. Which is a specific, like, it's a subset of that Persona 5 audience. The last announcement for the Nintendo Direct, Splatoon 3, love it like it or meh?
Like it, but we didn't really see much from it, so you can't. It does look like they're doing something.
Yeah.
With it.
That intro,
like, expanding.
I thought it was going to be like a single player open. Like, I thought it was going to be a whole new experience of Splatoon. And then at the end, it looks kind of like the Splatoon 1 and 2. So I'm like, is it different? On the spot, I was like, do we really need another Splatoon right now? And Greg brought up the good point that, well, Splatoon 2 is coming up on 5 years, like by the time it releases, it's going to be 5 years old. And I was like, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah, and plus, I mean, Splatoon 2, let's be realistic, that was a Wii U game that got ported over to the Switch because the Wii U failed.
You think so?
Yes.
I never thought of it that way.
Yeah, I feel like it's in that Overwatch 1, Overwatch 2 kind of weird limbo, or it's like, you don't necessarily need another installment because there's such a dedicated fan base, but it kind of does, but it's in that, middle road where it's like they've got to do something, and again, like, I still think it's whatever is next for the Switch.
Mm-hmm. Overall, 50-minute before we wrap up our thoughts. Lightning round. Get your topics, questions in, and we're going to go through as many as we can in the little time that we have. Overall, Nintendo Direct, love it like a hater or meh?
I liked it. It was a solid, B minus sort of thing. Nothing groundbreaking, but definitely not one of the worst directs ever. Like, where were you during the Wii U 3DS era? Like, Jesus
There was some rough
Christ.
time there.
Yeah.
It was a solid like it. I think there was something for everyone in there. It was very diversified. It was missing kind of a big wow moment. I think the big wow was Splatoon 3. So, that's going to resonate with that audience, but otherwise for everyone else.
But to that I say, what are the other companies doing right now? What do you have dated? When you look at the Nintendo Switch from now till August, because that was the last game that was dated, No More Heroes.
Yeah.
You literally have tons of, and that's not even counting stuff like, random third-party ports like Crash Bandicoot 4. It's About Time. That comes out next month. March is ridiculous with the amount of games coming out in it.
Yep.
I'm working on that video, sponsored by Manscaped. I'm waiting
What?
for my ball trimmer.
You got one of
trimmer.
those?
They hit me up and they're like, "Yeah, we'll send you a ball trimmer and some money if you do an ad for us." I was like, "Hell yeah!" So my ball trimmer comes tomorrow, so I'll be trimming my balls tomorrow.
Could you please say ball trimmer one more time? I think
ball
we
trimmer.
need that.
Get out of here, Mom! You can't hear me talking about my.
Not in this household.
Goddamn taxes. But no, like seriously, what does Sony have? They have Returnal in April, and they have Ratchet and Clank in June? I think
It's pretty far
June.
out. Yeah.
Okay. What does Microsoft have? Flight Simulator this summer? They don't even have a game that has a concrete release date. So, you can't complain really to me, because you got Monster Hunter Rise, an exclusive, new Pokemon Snap, an exclusive, Bravely Default 2, an exclusive. The list goes. Mario Golf exclusive, Skyward Sword exclusive, No More Heroes 3 exclusive. That's just off the top of my head.
Right.
Like, come on, man. Come on.
I think that's fair.
No, it's a fair argument. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. It doesn't mean that those games appeal to the people complaining, but it's the fact that there is something for everyone here. Like, if you're an RPG fan, there's RPGs. If you want party games, there's party games coming. You want Monster Hunter, like, here's your game. You're going to be playing that for the next 2 years. There's really something for everyone. You want a Mario game? All right, that just came out now. Have fun for that for a while. You got a Zelda game coming out. There's probably going to be even more Zelda. Did you finish your last serving of Mario games from a couple months ago? If you've been on the Nintendo train for many years, sure, a lot of it is like, ports, or I don't care for this. But otherwise, it's a decent serving. Could be better.
I feel like
but it could be a lot worse.
There's still a lot of Zelda to go around too, especially for people that, might haven't picked up a Switch, that maybe Skyward Sword is their favorite one. But then, there's like Link's Awakening and Breath of the Wild, and I feel like and if whatever comes next in terms of, the celebration games, I think there's going to be a decent amount of Zelda to go around. And I think that's why Nintendo keeps its consistency, whereas the ebbs and flows of other consoles are, what is coming.
Specifically when there's a generational leap, oh man, is the schedule a mess.
Yeah.
Whenever I remember even with the PS4 when that launched, it wasn't that great of a launch when you had when you looked at what software. They caught up very quick though. It wasn't anything like a Wii U, but